Hey Ron, do you have an update on Kyle?
Yes. Kyle has an ankle injury, and he is going to see the doctors today, and we'll go from there.
So will he need surgery or out for the year or anything like that?
Well, he's gonna see the doctors about his surgery and see exactly what happens. Might be a little premature to say that he's out for the year, but again, he's gonna have to see the doctors, and they're gonna have to do all the decision making on those things.
Okay. And then, Alex is your third starter of the year. Just how hard is it in the big picture to have kind of three starters at quarterback when you're trying to build something? Is it difficult for you at all, or how do you kind of view that as you try to build this team?
I don't know if you could say it's difficult as much as it's all just the process of seeing what we have. I think that's the most important thing, is to see what we have as we go forward. The thing about Alex as the starter right now is you have a guy that's a very veteran quarterback that has helped to nurture and develop a couple of pretty good young quarterbacks. It just kind of showed these guys how to study and prepare for a game, how to handle it. And I think this is going to be very good for Dwayne. I think Dwayne's going to get an opportunity to truly see how to prepare for a game as a starter. And I think, and hopefully, Dwayne will take it that way, that this is an opportunity to learn and grow. And then, who knows, he may get his opportunity again shortly, but he's just got to be ready and prepare as if he's really one play away.
Chris Russell.
Good morning, Ron. Sorry about that. Just back to the run defense from yesterday. You said it was a gap discipline. I don't know if tape showed you something different this morning, but I'm curious on this. You guys have had this mentality or mantra of stopping the run on the way to the quarterback. Do you think something that might lead to guys getting out of gaps?
Nope. Okay. Again, the thing we're talking about gap integrity. You get in your crease, you hold your crease, and you're responsible for that crease. Okay. This defense has been very, very successful over the years. What it really takes is for guys to buy in and understand this is how you play the defense. Okay. We get into our creases, we hold our creases. Okay. As we're working our way vertical to the quarterback and there's run, we've become disruptive. All right. That's the thing we have to get the players to understand. That's part of what we got to do to be successful as a football team.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Ron. When you made the quarterback switch after week 4, you cited the upcoming schedule, the NFC East race, and considering the thoughts of the other players on the team when you made that move from Dwayne to Kyle. Beyond the fact that Alex was the primary backup, what's your guiding principle for going with him now?
We're in the same situation. Nothing has really changed in the NFC East other than, we've lost the tiebreaker now to the Giants. So as we go forward, we've got to see what happens with the rest of the division. I mean, it's still a close race.
And with regards to, I presume you've gone back and watched the tape and you looked at Alex's performance. How easily can you separate when you watch a guy who had some good things, but he also had those interceptions? How easily can you separate the performance from his comeback story? That's obviously, so inspiring.
Well, he helped account for 20 points. In the second half, we had well over 250 yards of total offense, I believe. I granted we had 3 interceptions that he threw. One of them, JD tripped. The other 2 where he tried to force things to happen. And again, that's because we were kind of in desperation mode. And it's kind of hard to fault a guy who's trying to make something happen when you're in desperation mode. It's unfortunate that it happened. Again, he's probably still a little bit rusty. We'll see how he is this coming week because he's going to be the primary quarterback getting the primary reps. So we'll see. We'll get an opportunity to judge him then.
Thank you.
Hey, Ron, I know in Carolina you were in positions like this a little bit record-wise at this time of the year and were able to kind of come back out of it. I mean, how do you not get discouraged at this time? How do you not get down and, not convey that to players?
Mostly because we're still in it. I mean, let's be realistic. What's the best record in our division?
Yeah.
See my point? I mean, so keep your fingers crossed. You just never know. I mean, but at some point we have to win football games, and that's the truth of the matter. I don't get discouraged because when I look at the roster, and I mean, I can go over it with you right now, you can see how many young guys we're playing. Guys that have 1, 2, and 3 years of NFL experience, and that's it. I believe the numbers right are between 25 or 28 players that we are playing that have first, second, and third year worth of experience. Okay, that's important. Why? Because going forward, those guys will have game experience, legitimate game experience under their belt, and it's just going to make them better. And I'm going to give you an example of a guy. Look at Cam Sims. I mean, look what he's done. Look at Cole Holcomb. I mean, I go down the list of all these guys and sit there and tell you there's reason for optimism. Okay, at least I am. Maybe I'm overly optimistic or something, but that's just how I feel. I mean, when I look at these names and I sit there and go, wow. I mean, you know, these are some young guys that are playing. These are guys that don't have a lot of NFL experience that are out there right now. Gaining that valuable experience is going to help us. And I really believe that. Again, like I said, though, maybe I'm a little overly optimistic.
All right, thanks.
Phillips.
Just thinking back to when you took the job, we asked you about the quarterbacks because it's the only thing we're capable of asking about. You kept saying don't count out Alex even back then. I think a lot of us were counting out Alex in light of the surgeries. I'm just curious, in your very preliminary discussions with Dan Snyder, with the other coaches, or with Alex, what you saw back in December that led you to believe that we could be at this juncture right now?
Well, I don't think we'd be at this juncture the way we are. Just so everybody's clear on that. You know, I was hopeful that, you know, that Dwayne could continue to develop and grow, which he is. But right now, you know, I chose to go a different direction with a guy that was very familiar with our system. Unfortunately, he's hurt. But we have the ball is in a veteran guy's hands, a guy that I saw who was working out very, very hard, who was trying to come back. Everything that I had seen in terms of the reports that I was getting from the doctors were all positive that this is a guy that has a chance. And, you know, given who he is and the way he came back, it doesn't surprise me to a degree that, you know, he's got an opportunity and he's earned that opportunity, and we'll see what happens. And like I said, you know, things may change depending on where we are as a football team, where we stand in our division. But for right now, we're still in the middle of it.
Hey, Ron, how hard is it to evaluate your defense when they've been constantly put in kind of short field situations? They can't stop all of those, but I'm sure you'd like to see them maybe come up and put out some more of the fires. How do you balance evaluating them in those circumstances?
Well, it's all part of the evaluation process, because that happens in the game at any point in time. You got a short field. And so you've got to be able to bow your neck and force field goals or take the ball away. And that's, you know, that's part of it. And so we're going to evaluate based on that as well. Sudden change is a big part of this game. And if you can't handle sudden change consistently, then you've got to figure out why, and then you got to figure out where the issue is and get those things corrected.
Sam?
Ron, as you try to strike the balance between gaining experience and winning now, I wonder, would you like to see the preparation improve, the application in the field? Where do you feel like, you know, in that process, you'd like to see your team improve overall?
Well, I think, again, first and foremost, we've got to evaluate ourselves as coaches, make sure we're putting these guys in the best position to have success. And I'll always say that because that's a big part of it. You know, during the game, are we making adjustments to help these guys? Are we as coaches seeing what's happening in the game and get those corrected on the sidelines? Then after we get a chance to evaluate, and today's the day of evaluation, what exactly happened, why did it happen, and what needs to be corrected so it doesn't happen again. And those are the things that we as coaches have to look at, we have to decide on, and we have to implement. You know, there were some things in the game that I would like to most certainly see us do better. And then there are some things that perhaps we could have changed as coaches. But again, the process is a twofold process. It's what we see and how we change it in the game, and then what we see afterwards and how we correct it going forward.
When you think back to you know, other games throughout the season, is there one area that sticks out, or is it kind of changing every
It changes a little bit. You know, like yesterday on the defensive side, we had a situation where we struggled stopping the run at times, and that was disappointing. We tried to make a couple of adjustments that didn't stick as well as we would have liked to, and that's that's a little bit of an issue. At times on the offensive side, we weren't as good as we'd like to be running the football, because again, it doesn't allow our play action to be as effective as we would like it to be.
Thank you.
Hi, Ron. Do you plan to sign a third quarterback, or do you hope to just elevate Steven Montez, or what's the plan there?
Well, it's something that we're going to decide on and talk about, and we'll make our decisions as we go forward.
And with Dwayne, how has he handled the last month or so from what you've seen, just with the demotion, trade speculation, anything? How has he handled it from your perspective?
I think he's handled it well. I mean, again, all those things that come and go, it's all part of it. It's all part of being mature and handling it. And I thought he's handled the situation, circumstances pretty good. I know he's very aware of that. Now this is an opportunity for him going forward.
Hey, Ron, Heather McDonough, NBC4. Going back to Alex, we read, we read reports about him being first one in the building so early, things of that nature. What have you seen from him when it comes to that and that dedication? And that's part one. Part two, does that is anybody in your career, or whether it's work ethic, things like that, that reminds you of?
Oh yeah, I mean, his work ethic, I think, is legendary in terms of throughout his career he's done that, and that's just the way he's been, and that's that's the type of guys that have success and have these long careers. Reminds me a lot of Phillip Rivers, who's still playing. Phillip was one of those first in and last outs. When I was with the Chargers for 4 seasons, that's what I saw. I mean, I would be pulling into the parking lot, somewhere around 5-ish. And lo and behold, here comes Phillip, and that's just the way he is, and that's who he is as a player, and that's who Alex is. Alex is an early guy, and he's a late guy. He does everything that you're supposed to do, and he does it the right way.
Thank you.
Time. Hey, Ron, I'm curious, going back to Dwayne, in terms of that preparation, you talk about it's important for him to see it. What do you need him to see that Alex already does?
Well, again, it's really about how to prepare, how to take what you're getting, the information that you're getting, how to disseminate it, how to put it together, and then take it and transfer it onto the field. How to do those things. And again, my example, coming in early, meeting with the coaches, meeting with the other quarterbacks, having discussions, talking about what you're seeing, what you're not seeing. And just studying and preparing, and just I think that's important. I think that's vital for a young quarterback to have those kind of examples.
How often do you see a young quarterback? Is that something that should be a little bit more innate, or is that something that you still have to learn and grow and develop with for other guys?
I think it's a little bit. It's something that some guys grow and develop and understand just how important it is. Because a lot of times guys will rely on their great talent, and that talent will get you by for a while. But there is a point in everybody's career where everything catches up to talent. Okay, and the only thing that separates it is the guys that work the hardest.
Rhiannon.
Hey, Ron, after the game yesterday, Jimmy Moreland basically kind of talked to us and said that some of the issues that they saw in the game, they had seen a little bit in practice, like missing tackles or jumping off sides. I'm just curious, is that something that you and the coaches saw during practice, or how do you guys feel like the team came out after the bye week in practice?
Well, it's no different in practice than what happens in the game. Guys do jump off in practice, especially when you hard count them, trying to get them to understand it. And unfortunately, it carried over. Montez jumped. If you get a chance to look at that tape, watch the right tackle. The right tackle actually flinches, and the referees missed that. And I'm being serious. I'm not trying to make an excuse. I'm just being serious. The right tackle flinches noticeably, and that's why Montez jumped off. So again, I think we need to be careful when we talk about stuff like that. But take a look at that play, and you'll see that their right tackle flinched. And again, in practice, you really can't tackle. I mean, you can if you want, but this time of year, you're really not practicing. You're really not tackling.
Take 3 more.
Thank you, Ron.
All righty, Ree.
Hey, Ron, Scott Abraham, ABC7. You mentioned earlier how many young players are playing right now on the field for this team. and I look at the quarterback position, and I just wonder, you have Alex Smith. He's 36. You don't know how long he's going to play. Do you believe you have a future quarterback of this franchise on the roster right now? And how do you go about kind of evaluating that and finding that player? Because I feel like the fan base sometimes thinks like this franchise is spinning its wheels in a sense of a quarterback not really knowing who the future quarterback is of this franchise for many years to come.
Well, that's the question we have to answer as coaches. Is our franchise quarterback here? Is he on the roster? Is he being developed? Or is he somewhere else? And again, we'll continue to go through that and look at it and evaluate it and see exactly where we are.
Two more. Hey, Ron, this is Darren Haynes, WSA 9. A few weeks ago when you benched Dwayne, you wanted to see how he would respond, and you were saying that he responded really well, and now he has the opportunity to learn from Alex Smith. What do you see Dwayne when he puts all this stuff together? What do you see him doing in this league moving forward?
That's a great question because I think that's something that we're hoping to see. We're hoping to see a guy that's got a talented arm, that's a good pocket passer, and has the ability to make all the throws. But does he put it all together, Darren? Does he sit there and say, okay, this is what I've studied, this is what I've learned, now I'm taking it to the field, and this is what I see out there that's happening, and this is how I'm going to react. I'm going to go through my progression this way, and I'm going to deliver the ball over here. That's what we want to see. Those are the things that he's got to continue to grow on and become a more astute player and student of this game. He's got the skill set. I'm telling you, the arm is legit. Okay. Now let's see him put it all together. That's what I'm hoping to get out of Dwayne these next few weeks as we go forward for the rest of the season.
Steve Wino, last one. Nah, you got time for one more if someone wants to hop in. All right. Thanks, Coach. Thanks,
Cool.
everyone.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you all.